Welcome back to the Poke Report. I'm Haley Ryan alongside Thomas Fleming. And Thomas, many OSU teams are wrapping up their spring seasons with May being less than a week away. Hey guys, today I'm here with Maria Taylor, analyst, host, and reporter for ESPN. Maria is in town for the first ever Cowboy Choice Awards for OSU Athletics. In the history of college basketball, there have only been 8 head coaches to record 800 or more career wins. But only one of those coaches has been left out of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Sabrina can pass, she can shoot, and she can also rebound. But Dee Dee is the best defensive player right now, and she knows how to read the defense on the offensive side. Perfection, that's what the Cowboy wrestling team sought heading into their top 3 matchup against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Thanks, Tanner. I am here right across the street from the site of the new O'Brate Stadium, which is supposed to open next season. And that's a wrap on the Final Four here in Tampa. Your 2019 national champions are the Baylor Lady Bears. The Bears shot 54% tonight and scored 54 of their points inside the paint. Old school basketball, just like Coach Mulkey likes. Yesterday was April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, and head coach Mike Gundy took his prank to the next level. No, he doesn't, Emily. He told me his schedule consists of football practice and workouts, basketball practice and workouts, sleep, and homework.
It's too intense.
In the history of college basketball, there have only been 8 head coaches to record 800 or more career wins. But only one of those coaches has been left out of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, and that's former OSU men's basketball coach Eddie Sutton. Coach Sutton was one of 4 finalists on the 2019 ballot to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and for the 6th time, he fell short of being honored.
Well, I worked with Coach Sutton for 6 years, and it was probably 6 of the best professional years of my career. You know, one of my most exciting times was going to the Final Four, and that was, of course, with Coach Sutton. He was an excellent coach, a great human being, really cared about his kids, cared about his staff, and I always felt like I was part of the family when I worked with Coach Sutton and the basketball team.
The Cowboy family took to Twitter when they realized that Coach Sutton was being left out yet again. Doug Gottlieb posted a tweet that generated almost 4,000 likes, saying, "Really disappointing news. Eddie Sutton was informed today he is not getting into the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. Coach Sutton remains the only coach with over 800 D1 wins not in the Hall of Fame. This is a complete travesty. # put Eddie in."
East Coast bias, I certainly think, plays a role in that. You never see a coach that's consistently been on the East Coast throughout their careers not get in.
The inductee who beat out Coach Sutton is Bill Fitch, a 2-time NBA Coach of the Year with over 900 wins in the NBA. His stats compared to those of Coach Sutton, who has over 800 wins, was the first coach to take 4 different schools to the NCAA tournament, and was a 4-time National Coach of the Year.
I think my biggest fear is that Coach Sutton may not be around by the time they finally do induct him in, whether it be a change in voters or whatever.
Although Coach Sutton has not been recognized by the Hall of Fame, he is heavily celebrated by OSU athletics. He regularly attends home games where he has floor seats on what is now his own Eddie Sutton Court. For the O-State Report, I'm Haley Ryan. Freshman wrestler Dayton Fix came close to claiming a national title in Pittsburgh, but a controversial call ruined that chance. The O-State Report's Emily Bjorklund takes a closer look into the penalty that wasn't called and how fans everywhere have reacted.
For the O-State Report, I'm Emily Bjorklund.
Cowgirl softball is on the come-up. The team is sitting at 21st in the nation with a record of 26-10. The Cowgirls went 2-1 in their series against number 9 Texas. Riley Bayless and Samantha Shao were all the talk for the Cowgirls this weekend. Bayless hit 2 homers for a total of 5 this season and racked in 5 RBI. Shao had 3 RBI and dropped 2 home runs for a total of 10, the most on the team this season. The Cowgirls will compete in Big 12 play again this weekend against Kansas, and the Cowboy baseball team is also looking hot so far. It was a back-and-forth game as the Cowboys took on the Sooners and Allie P. OSU takes the lead quickly with 5 runs in the second inning. CJ Varela works the mound with 7 strikeouts and 0 hits from the Sooners until the 4th. But OU finds their way back to tie the game in the 8th with 3 runs off of 3 Cowboy errors. Sooners are close, but not close enough. It would be a walk-off single by Max Hewitt, which allows the runner on third to get home. Pokes win 6-5, marking the 8th Bedlam victory in a row. Cowgirl tennis is having one of their best starts to a season. The team was ranked 9th in the Oracle ITA team rankings as they took on Baylor and Texas. The Cowgirls breezed by Baylor with a final score of 8-0 for their 10th win in a row. After the game, head coach Chris Young said, "Anytime you win 10 straight matches in a row, especially with 5 of those being league matches in this conference, that says a lot. With the schedule that we play and the conference that we're in, to be able to win so many matches in a row says a lot about the development of this team." Unfortunately, the team's winning streak got snapped by number 6 Texas with a score of 5-2. The team takes the court again this weekend against UCF and rival OU in the Greenwood Tennis Center. The men's and women's track teams had a successful weekend with 11 top 5 finishes, but the best performance came from the men's 4x4 team down in Austin at the Texas Relays. The Cowboys placed 4th with a time of 3:08. Justin Long anchored, running a split time of 45.86. In other news, it's time for the Final Four basketball championships. The NCAA Final Fours are set. On the women's side, it's Oregon, Baylor, UConn, and Notre Dame. And on the men's side, it's Auburn, Virginia, Texas Tech, and Michigan State. Yesterday was April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day, and head coach Mike Gundy took his prank to the next level. Check this out. In these photos, he sported a blonde mullet at practice and naturally got plenty of fan attention from it. I, for one, was fooled until I saw this response, which said 4/1 with a wink emoji. I had to say, I saw him about 3 hours before this was posted, and he was brunette. So, I mean, what do you think of the blonde, though? Gabe Simpson is an Oklahoma State football player who is used to spending his early mornings, afternoons, and even his Saturdays in Boone Pickens Stadium. But now, half of his time is also spent right here in Gallagher-Iba Arena as a new member of the Oklahoma State men's basketball team. After head coach Mike Boynton dismissed 3 players from his roster, OSU football player Gabe Simpson saw a unique opportunity.
Me and the football guys play a lot at the Colvin. We play pickup games a lot, and then we heard that some of the players got cut and they're having tryouts. And some of the football guys were supposed to try out with me, but they didn't.
When he showed up to try out, Coach Boynton was unaware that he was already a student athlete.
He came up, we didn't have any information on him, and he says, "I'm here for the tryout." And we're like, "Well, you can't work out if you don't have the paperwork done." He's like, "Well, what if I'm already on a team?" And I was like, "Well, if you're already on the team, then I need to talk to your coach."
With approval from his coaches, Simpson was named one of 5 players added to the roster. Even though he is now a dual athlete, he still maintains a 4.0 and even attends optional football workouts.
We got in from Texas Tech at 1 o'clock, and he had football workouts at 6 in the morning. Then he had practice at 2:30.
J.K. Hadlock told me most people wouldn't put forth that much effort, but he's not surprised that Simpson does.
I feel like that's not fair to the other teammates who have to go, so I just keep going.
Football's Assistant Director of Operations, Rod Johnson, said Simpson's dedication is important to head coach Mike Gundy.
He does everything we ask him to do. It's awesome. Coach Gundy totally admires Gabe for doing that.
Simpson is a walk-on player for both teams, but he's on a full academic scholarship majoring in chemistry pre-med. Coach Boynton said what Simpson does isn't easy, especially doing it for 2 teams, and spoke on what it says about him.
He's really committed to trying to excel at a really high level. Shows his commitment to this university.
After this season, Simpson will head back to football for spring ball, which begins next week. For the O State Report, I'm Haley Ryan.